So, Lionsgate just released a bit of footage for their Borderlands movie, and I think most of us can agree it looks like shit. Almost everyone I've come across in the YouTube comment sections, Instagram comment sections, most people I've talked to in Reddit threads when I still had an account on there, either seem to be rather concerned for how it's going to do, or are more like me and anticipating a hilarious, unforgettable, Fant-4-stick grade disaster. But why? How could a Borderlands movie sound bad? Mixing Indiana Jones, Mad Max, and Halo elements ought to be a sure recipe for success, right? We've seen that time and time again with the games. Is it the cast, possible concerns with writing, or maybe the track record of the series as of recent? Let's get the obvious complaints out of the way. Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis being twice the age of the characters they're playing is way more distracting than I thought it would be. Kevin Hart playing the stoic BL2 version of Roland makes no sense. Jack Black voicing a wimpy robot with no facial expressions also makes no sense. The bandits look like guys in Party City costumes, and the Crimson Lance helmets look way oversized for some reason. The film wrapped in 2021, but spent until last year in post-production hell that got so bad that the lead writer walked out on the project, causing them to hire 10 plus more writers. And then, the one thing that I don't think anyone mentions enough, the aesthetic. This film looks like a dollar store Guardians Suicide Squad mashup, except with a lot of sand and piss jokes. And everyone knew it was going to be like this from the moment we saw the plot outline from Lionsgate's website, which, speaking of that, the outline portrays different goals for Lilith and the other mercs than the trailer, yet they're still rolling with this outline. And Cate Blanchett has this really cliched narration near the start.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret vault.
Which sort of convinces me that they added that in post, specifically for the trailer to piss off less people. Gearbox is an infamously pretty shady company with multiple false advertising related offenses under their belt, so I wouldn't be surprised considering how deep they are in this film's pocket. Anyways, this movie is really feeling like bootleg Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's one thing that's really not helping. Quote, "The Borderlands movie is the first of the Borderlands cinematic universe." End quote, Randy Pitchford. Now, for those who follow games closer than movies, hearing a statement like this is basically the same kind of death sentence as hearing live service in the announcement of a game that you've been waiting a while for. A chilling reminder that art can no longer just be art anymore, movies can't just be movies, and games can't just be games, because green pieces of paper are cool. And besides, what is the point of this cinematic universe thing, when this film really just looks like a shoehorning of random game elements into one abomination? Oh yeah, so as for why the timeline seems to have bashed itself over the head with a buzz axe, well, it's because they're doing the same thing that the Halo TV show is doing with that Silver Timeline bullshit. That show's entered its second season. We're just now in the Fall of Reach arc because of all the dumb filler from Season 1. We aren't even on the rings yet. We've nonchalantly assassinated one of the game's most iconic characters, and they still haven't learned from various examples of compelling faceless characters, so Master Chief is taking his fucking armor off all the time. Look how well that's turning out. Why you would take a franchise as niche as Borderlands and warp it around to please a crowd that isn't people who played the games is far beyond me. In fact, why would it even be hard to just write a back-to-basics story with the OG 4 Vault Hunters, searching maybe a more slightly deserted version of Pandora as seen in the first game? Weave in some new plot elements that add on to what's already in the games, take out the stuff that doesn't work, expand the universe as comes naturally with Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel, maybe a rewritten Borderlands 3 that pisses me off less, maybe even a Tales adaptation of some kind. The writing is on the fucking wall for how to do this. Oh yeah, the writing. So, Borderlands has always come under some criticism for having not very great writing at points. Being Borderlands 1's disappointing ending, BL2 and pre-sequel's hit-or-miss humor, BL3's humor being about 90% miss and having some of the worst antagonists I've ever seen in any media, or New Tales taking it up about 5 notches and making every character insufferable, Borderlands has indeed always had imperfect writing. Here's the thing. Most people agree that the 2012 to 2015 era was the peak of the series' writing, and that the era from 2019 onward seems to be the lowest point that this franchise has ever seen. One of the commonly agreed upon reasons for this seems to be that the series lost the maturity that the humor veiled over, and thinks shit jokes and memes outdated by half a decade are the way to go. How does the movie seem to be answering this problem?
What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Are we really waiting for this to finish?
Yep, by getting just as lazy as BL3's humor. This movie is clearly being made by people who don't understand or care about Borderlands at all, and it shows. And I'm not being pretentious and trying to say, none of you guys get it, none of you understand the deeper meaning. Borderlands has never tried to be Shakespeare, but honestly, that's even less of an excuse for fucking it up over and over. And for those of you who think that it's crazy or stupid to cite a lack of maturity as a legitimate criticism for Borderlands, need I remind you, this is the franchise that gave us this.
Destroying the iridium injectors that keep me alive will stop the key from charging, and it will end a lifetime of servitude.
You get the hell away from my daughter! Bandit, if you keep this up, I'm heading down there to blow your brains out myself! You hear me? Angel? No, Angel!
I'm going after Jack.
What's that saying? Don't pick a fight with a man with nothing left to lose. See, I'm gonna show you just how much you have to lose, and I got the most powerful siren on the planet to do it with. Lilith, kill the Vault Hunter. We've got a date to keep with the warrior.
Commencing slag injection on subjects supplied by the Hyperion liaison known as Flesh Stick.
Don't worry, honey. Everything's gonna be okay. Baby, don't look.
You are doing moderately well. I require one more echo recording, at which point I will have all the data I need.
Sweetheart! Remember that heavy red rock I told you to hide in your dress? Pull the pin at the top, then throw it at the wall!
Mommy?
Just run! Tina! Run!
I kinda lost myself somewhere, but all I have to say is, Borderlands is capable of maturity, and I am sick of seeing that aspect lost in these more recent entries. So for those of you who are as skeptical as I am, but just can't wrap your head around why, the Borderlands movie seems as bad as it does, simply because it presents itself in the most generic way possible, commits adaptation sins of all kinds, and does it all with a mere surface level understanding of the games. Well, that was long and annoying. I don't usually do videos like this, but YouTube's algorithm seems to have bias against people who do what I do, that being art and animation. So, in case this video blows up for how topical it is at the moment, please subscribe, go follow my TikTok in case this situation gets too dire on YouTube, and yeah, have a good one.